at how to solve for the numerator with an actual example. So I'm drawing my right angle triangle. There's my right angle. Now in this case, I'm going to say that my marked angle is 30 degrees. I'm going to have the hypotenuse be 9 meters, and I'm going to go with the opposite is what I'm trying to find. So I'll call it x. So looking at my rule, I have the hypotenuse and I have the opposite side, so I'm going to have to use the sine rule. So remember that sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. So in this case, sine 30 equals x, because x is the opposite, over 9, because 9 is the hypotenuse. One thing to note here, guys, is that when we're solving these, we try and leave it as sine 30 for as long as we can. The real thing here is that if we round it off to 2 decimal places rather than use the full decimal places that come from our calculator, then we're going to get a slightly different answer. Now, in some questions that might not make a difference, but as we go further on and we have to do multiple step problems, this will start to make a difference. So we're going to leave it as sine 30 until we get the whole way to putting it into our calculator. So knowing that we have to solve for x, we want to isolate the x and get rid of the 9. So to isolate the x, I'm going to multiply the 9 over to this side. So we get x equals 9 times sine 30. One thing to note here is that in your calculator, sometimes it'll get a bit messy if you don't put that multiplication sign into the calculator. So I find it's easiest just to put it straight in, and that equals. One thing to note here, guys, is that I actually have to put it into this calculator differently. So I have to put it in as 30 and then hit the sign and then hit times 9. But if you put it into your calculator exactly like that, then it will come up with the same answer. So that comes out as 4.5, and of course I need meters. So 4.5 meters as our answer. Let's finish off with a quote. So our quote for this one is, "I'm a great believer in luck, and I feel that the harder I work, the luckier I get," said by Canadian economist and humorist Stephen Butler LaCour.